Chatting shit. So we've got Joe Lycett coming on.
Yes.
We're big fans, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Yeah, he always...
I always feel like he's built for this.
Yeah, so I want to drill down into Joel. Joel?
Joel.
Joe.
We've got Joel Dommett on the show.
And what was I going to say? Have you seen his painting of the cat taking a nap on the skylight?
No.
It's fucking great. I was like, because I started trying to do painting, I saw that and went, oh, he's got his own style. It's a good idea.
I did the chapel gig with him.
Yeah.
And it's quite big. It's like 900 people or 1,000 or something. Yeah. And like Joe Lycett was on. And I was sort of looking at myself going, oh, fucking hell. And then he turned up and he happened to be in a big fur coat, which immediately made me laugh. And he was like, he just got out of a cab and he was 3 minutes before he needed to be on. He was chatting to people as they were introducing him. And he was like, yeah, no, I'll see you on Wednesday, you know, have you? And basically, and then went on and went, all right, how are you? And to the audience, and then just was like brilliant as well. It wasn't like he was all over the shop. But I was like looking at him going, well, what does he do then? Why hasn't he got it all? Why doesn't it all go around his head going, oh, fucking hell, what am I going to do there?
Well, it does, doesn't it? Of course it does.
Well, no way. It was different.
Not noticeably, but they'd say to you, guy, he's so laid back. He just turns up and just does his stuff and sods off. And
do you reckon they say that?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'll ask him in a minute.
What do we want to... Here we go.
There we go. What do we want to hear from Joe Lycett?
Yeah.
Here we go.
That he's racked with... Hey!
Hi, Joe.
Hello there, how are you?
Hello, see? So I was just talking about your paintings, Joel. Joel, I keep calling you Joel.
That's the second time. That's Joel.
Allowed. You're allowed to call me Joel, I don't mind.
Yeah, it's because it's Joe, then L, then Y.
Yeah, lots of people on Twitter think that I'm Joel Lycett.
There you go.
Joel Lycett.
But if someone said, have you seen Joel Lycett, I wouldn't work out they meant Joe Lycett. Joel, do you mean Joel Lycett?
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm very well. I feel a little bit overwhelmed because I'm a fan of both this and Gossip Mongers, and I've been listening quite a lot recently. So
What's a Chatterbix?
Yeah, it's a Chatterbix. So I sort of feel like I've gone into my iPhone, and I sort of, obviously I know you, and I've worked with you before, but both of you on multiple occasions. But I think just because it's been a while, so I sort of feel I'm sort of fangirling a bit.
Oh wow!
I feel fantastic now.
Yeah, so do I.
Because I look at your career and go, oh, he's sort of untouchable now. I don't know how to get close to him.
Yeah, why do you find time to listen to this? What? Why? No, seriously, why?
I find it very soothing. I think you're both very easy company and very funny. I find it very
easy listening.
I want to be. I want the rest of my career to be easy.
Yeah, easy isn't the word, but I enjoy. It doesn't. I don't feel intimidated by it. It doesn't upset me ever. I always feel buoyed by it.
Keep talking.
Yeah,
Joe, I've been looking at your paintings. So I was just telling Joe.
I haven't seen it. I need to Google it.
So your cat on the skylight.
I've got it here. Do you want to see it, Jack?
Have you got it?
You've got it there.
There it is.
I don't need to Google. That's fantastic,
isn't it?
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
I was really pleased with it.
It's brilliant.
What a great idea.
So I've done two paintings of things on skylights. I'll show you the other one.
Oh my God, Joe, that's great.
Things on skylights.
By Joel Lycett.
Alan Sugar watching you through a skylight.
I like the way your house has been painted a different colour in that one as well.
Yeah. I've got ideas of like having a whole exhibition of and the exhibition is above your head, and it's all things that are skylights.
That's fantastic.
Did you go to college? Did you do art?
No, I did drama and English at Manchester University, and then I was a graphic designer before I did stand-up. I found I did a poster for Rob Beckett for the Edinburgh Festival one year.
Did you?
I'd found that in my old files somewhere.
You pleased with it?
Yeah, it's fine. Absolutely fine.
Is he on a skylight?
He's not in a sky. He should have been in a skylight.
Rob Beckett on the skylight.
So I like.
I started painting about 6 months ago.
Great. Can I see?
No.
Why not?
Look, see, you can see that stuff there.
Yeah. Why can't I see the painting?
Because I've realised, like Joe said to me, and like that skylight kind of confirms it. You need a good idea.
Yeah.
And I haven't got any good ideas when I go. Number one, I can't paint. I feel really pretentious when I'm painting.
I can't paint. Right. Hang on. So,
are these all paintings in the background? Have you done loads?
I've done I love painting. I do loads. Yeah, I've got like.
Oh my god!
Shelf fell down, so quite a lot of ones fell down, and this was too heavy. This one of Tom Daly mid-dive.
See, that annoys me. It's good. It annoys me. It's good.
But you're halfway home with a good idea, though, aren't you?
Yeah, you
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
so a friend of mine did. I made a short film, and he's an editor, and he said, "Can you pay me by doing a painting of me, my wife, and my daughter?" So I said, "You will be offended by what I do. It never looks how it should." So that's the painting of him, which is not bad. There's a likeness there.
Well, we don't know what he looks like. He could be.
That's not bad of his wife. And then I tried his daughter, who's gorgeous, like a lovely. I think she's about 6, and I had 3 attempts.
She's a middle-aged woman in all of them. So, did you say pick one of these?
You look more like her at the end looking around.
Yeah. The one on the left looks like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. That one's like that Barbara Windsor, I think.
Yeah.
Fuck knows what's going on with this. But you say I'm a good painter.
You are.
Well, do you know what's interesting about that? You haven't been able to do an idea first. Though. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not Tom Davis mid-dive.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like just them.
Sorry, I'm really dumb. So do you paint the canvas? You get the background colour first, and then
no, that's the last thing. That's the last.
What?
Yeah, it's my favourite thing actually to put the background colour on.
But don't you have to then make sure you don't go over the lines?
Yeah, but you just careful when you get to those side bits. And actually, if you look closely, I've missed bits. You know.
Oh, and do you shade as well? Is it the colour or is it the camera? Or is it
that's
all one
the camera?
colour?
Yeah, that's a solid pink colour. Yeah.
And is that your go-to, like a flat colour end?
Yeah, I love. It'll either be pink, yellow, or blue. Generally,
you're going to see me posting little paintings that are quite similar.
Yeah, I know.
I really want to see. Can you just show me?
No.
Yeah, go on, David.
No,
please.
Open up, David.
No. What? Isn't it weird to feel like that about painting? I know. I hate it.
Okay, I understand.
I hate it.
It's Yeah, it's cause, I think it's because you sort of secretly hope you're going to have a little knack for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I might be a little genius.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I don't think anyone. It's like stand-up or anything like that. I don't think anyone has a knack for it. You just keep doing them, and you start to get better, and you learn from how you mess it up and all that. I've got a bone to pick about that poster in the background. Actually, Brian and Charles, as you know, I love. But there's something about the lettering on the Brian and Charles poster against the lines of the wallpaper that irritates me. I think it's because, like,
does it really?
This is what we want him on for.
Yes, the E in the Charles sort of sits between 2 lines, whereas the C in Charles sits over a line, and it's just annoying.
Wow, you've really thought about this,
right?
It's
okay.
It's not. It's a really nice font, and it's a really great image. And I don't know what else you could have done with that image. in terms of you couldn't. It'd be weird if you tried.
I guess you're
So it's
saying
it's the
not
spacing. You're saying it's the spacing.
It's sort of, yeah. I don't know how you
wanted it on a different wallpaper that wasn't vertical lines. Basically.
Yeah, probably.
You wanted a flat pink colour, didn't you?
I wanted it. I'd like flat pink or yellow or blue for that.
Well, I'm going to tell you something now. It was my decision.
Well, you've made the wrong decision. You failed at the last hurdle.
So how often do you paint? Do you paint like?
I try and do something every week.
Do you? You do a lot of things.
I don't have a partner or kids, or I don't really do much else. I'm not doing loads of telly at the minute. I'm just on tour, and then I do a couple of bits here and there.
Oh, you're touring.
So but I tour. I do 3 shows a week.
Wow,
And I just
is that a lot for a tour? I don't know. Is that about right?
Like Sarah Millican and Jimmy Carr and all these other people are doing like 6-7 shows a week.
That's too much, isn't it?
It's too much. It's too much.
Do you do them like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or do you have a gap between them? Or
Sort of, yeah. So we'll try and like tour in the same place. And
so you bomb around like the Yorkshire or something?
Well, I'll do 3 shows in Leeds or something,
right,
back to back, and then I'll go home for a few days and then
paint.
Yes, but I just love it. I sort of get loads of pleasure out of it, and
that helps.
It's not arduous.
Can I ask how long do you do? You got support?
Yeah. I'll go on and do about 5 minutes at the top. Then the support will do about 20 minutes, and then I'll do about 15 minutes after that, and then somewhere between 50 minutes and an hour at the end in the second section, depending on how much they're laughing, really.
Oh.
Aren't they always laughing, though?
Yeah, I can't imagine you not going down.
They must.
I've never seen you not do amazingly.
Like Joe was just saying, as a lot an intro, that you did what was it?
Oh, you probably don't remember the chat. We did the chapel together a few years ago.
But you came in with about 3 minutes before you had to go on stage. Just said hi to everyone, got on stage, and did really well.
Like it's the most relaxed I've ever seen anyone do stand up. Like you just went hello, hi, and then walked on. And I was like, I wasn't giving that any. That just was ridiculous. And then you did really well, and I had the hump because I was looking at bits of paper going, oh, fucking hell, this is going to work. And you went, all right, how are you? I'll see you Wednesday. Bye. Went on, and then I think you were organising to see Ashfling at a party later or something.
Oh, right.
And I was like, he hasn't got any panic. Why am I full of panic? And Joe Lycett organising.
I really want to ask you about all these little not predicaments, what are they? Not pranks, but you're getting yourself involved in.
Oh, the one
and how stressful that looks. Yeah. And how do you cope?
So I've
being in the eye of the storm for 48 hours. How the hell do you cope?
And you've caused it yourself.
Yeah. So I just feel like, well, he's playing with fire there, isn't he?
Because I said to David, like, I feel like every 3 months I text you and go, fucking hell, that made me laugh when you did this. Like, you're the person I text like every sort of 3 months. Oh my God. And I knew you were coming on, but the one you did this week, well, 4 weeks ago when this goes out or whatever, or next week or whatever.
But if I did that, Joe, I'll be in bed going, oh, fuck.
What have I done? Fuck. Yeah. Everyone thinks because we were talking about the storming off one, and it really made me laugh because it looked so real. But then for like 48 hours, people were going, Joe Lycett's an arsehole, right?
Yeah.
And then you went, well, no, because I did it deliberately. But for like 48 hours, they're going, stuck-up comedian walks off. And I was like, what? And only because I know you, I was like, he obviously hasn't stormed off because there's a bottle on a shelf.
Yeah.
Because of Yop or whatever.
Yeah.
But how do you deal with that?
That's... It's interesting. I was having this conversation with a friend of mine about like my relationship with conflict, because I do like I like to seemingly when I'm not working, my instinct is to come to the studio and paint and listen to Chatterbix.
Oh God, I love that.
My
God, it's such a fucking problem for me that I love that.
But I think I had some really bad anxiety, like really weird effects a few years ago, where I would get Well, I had a panic attack on my last tour where I thought I was dying, and I like drove myself to hospital and thought I was having a heart attack, and then started getting these weird symptoms where I was like, I couldn't eat with friends or swallow. So if I went to the pub, I'd sort of get this feeling that I was going to vomit the whole time, and so I just couldn't enjoy a pint. Everything just got really difficult for a while, because if you can't go out for dinner or go for a pint with someone, there's nothing you can do. And this is before lockdown, so people weren't into walking. It was just like, and I went to see a therapist, and I did quite a lot of therapy and sort of researched it as much as I could, and discovered that the thing with anxiety, at least for me, is the thing that you're frightened of doing, you have to do. So that the therapy around like drinking beer, I'd got it in my head that I couldn't drink beer anymore. And my therapist was like, well, your homework is to have a pint of beer, which before that I would have been like, fucking hell, great. But at that time I was like, I just won't be able to do it. And she said, why? And I said, I'll vomit. And she said, well, then at least you know, because I'd never vomited. At no point have I vomited from it. And so that first beer was really tricky. And then like gradually I started to really enjoy it. And now I'm back to normal. Occasionally I'll get little bursts of it, but I know to just sort of go, oh, it's nonsense. It's just my brain playing tricks on me. And I push through it. And I think that attitude has actually really helped in everything else. Because now when I get myself in a situation like I was at the weekend where I'm on Laura Koonsberg's program, and everyone's sort of looking at me like, you fucking prick. Like, that everyone's looking at me. I'm just like, I get quite zen about it. And I kind of go, well, this is what I'd planned. So, I knew that it was going to be uncomfortable, but that's the kind of joy of the thing, really. And just being like, okay, I'll be uncomfortable for a little while, but it won't be forever. And it'll probably pay off.
But in that, when I watched it, my first thought was it's really funny because for starters, really funny because everyone on that show always behaves the same way.
Yeah.
And obviously they're new doing that. But then I just thought everyone there is sort of against what you've done, like the cameramen, the people that are going to then have to walk you to your dressing room to get your bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're all like, oh, cheers, mate.
Mm.
You know, you've just turned everything we do upside down.
Are they? What was it like?
No, it wasn't like that at all.
Oh, was it not?
Yeah, I can imagine they're just like, thank God for that.
Yeah, no. Well, I don't know how they are now, because obviously the media reaction to it hadn't kicked in at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Laura Koonsberg said that her heart dropped when I applauded because she didn't know what I was going to do. And then she was like, and then I was like, fine with it. And she did ask me not to applaud Rishi Sunak, but that was because she had to walk after she'd interviewed Rishi Sunak. She had to walk somewhere else, and she wasn't walking over to the panel. So she said it just sort of won't work. So I heeded that, but it wasn't Rishi I was there to applaud anyway. It was Liz Truss, and then she said that like we really enjoyed having you, and we're looking for like sort of semi-regulars. So if you're up for coming on again, I'd love to have you. And all of her producers said exactly the same thing. And so they were all really good. And there's like this weird breakfast that they do afterwards in the BBC canteen. And I was sat next to Laura Koonsberg, and then next to her was Rishi Sunak. And then opposite me was Emily Thornberry and Cleo Watson, the other girl that had been on. And it was just a very surreal, and the chairman of the BBC was there as well. It was just a very odd group of people. I didn't look Rishi Sunak in the eye because I was like, I'll get so angry.
How small is he?
He's...
Because we're obsessed with his size.
Well, I didn't realise till you pointed it out, Joe.
Trying to think of what...
Because he's all in proportion.
Yeah,
but he's little.
Yeah, he is.
So
I can't believe it.
He's a bit like Alan Sugar. Have you ever met Alan Sugar? Been in a room?
No.
He's tiny as well.
Have you? When did you meet Alan Sugar?
I met him when I did. What's that spin-off show for The Apprentice?
Oh,
You're Fired.
You're Fired.
And he apparently was never invited, but occasionally would just turn up to those recordings. And I walked into it was ITV Studios at that point, the one that was on the South Bank.
Yeah.
And I walked along with him, trying to make conversation, and he was not interested in speaking to me whatsoever.
Did you call him Sir Alan? I can't imagine you did.
No, I don't think I did. I can't remember. I was just trying to make light conversation with him, and he was just... And he made a point of like walking faster, so he was in front of me.
Whenever I think of ITV Studios, I remember holding the door open for Will.i.am.
Yeah.
And he just walked through without saying thank you.
Yeah, I bet.
And then a bodyguard behind him, enormous guy, just whispered to me, "Sorry."
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he?
It was a cute. It's really cute thing because this enormous American bodyguard went, "Sorry."
Yeah.
And I went because I think he saw me go. Right.
Probably a fan of Chatterbix.
He was a Chatterbiscuit. He had one of our wonderful
fans, the Chatterbiscuits.
You should know that, Joe.
I mean, I've not listened to every episode.
We say it in every episode.
I'm trying to come up with my name for my fans. Rebecca Lucy Taylor, who's self-esteem, she suggested I call them Mummy's Little Liars.
I'm one of Mummy's Little Liars.
Yeah.
That's good.
Really like that. Yeah.
If you're a cheeky Chatterbiscuit, you're a Chatterbiscuit with nuts.
I've forgotten about that. I was thinking, are you? Oh yeah.
Do you actually? Have I just missed that you do this in every episode?
No. It's just
It's sort of. I should know.
We've normalised Chatterbiscuit.
Right.
It's.
I've really been enjoying the ones with the guy from Deal or No Deal.
Everyone loves it. He's brilliant, isn't he? Paul Gorton.
He's great, but I would say slightly precocious. I think he's got slightly too much confidence for me.
Well, I'll tell you what the truth is. We love having him on because we have to do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like having an hour off.
That actually, Deal or No Deal is one of the first times that I experienced that thing of being comfortable with the uncomfortable, because I was on that with Sarah Millican. She was playing.
You've been in the studio. You've been in that studio.
Yeah, I was on as a box opener for Sarah Millican.
Oh, wow.
And there was me, Gary Delaney, Mark Olver was opening boxes on that one. He wasn't doing warm-up, he was opening boxes. Karen Bailey. There are a few other like Birmingham-based comics. I think, did Craig Dealey do it? A few other Birmingham comics, basically. And
was it a celebrity version, like for charity or something?
I think so. Yeah. Yes, it was. I can't remember what charity though. I was just taking the piss out of the banker, basically saying like I can't remember. It was so many years ago, but I remember I was just showing very little respect to the banker and slagging him off after she'd hung up and all that. And Noel Edmonds clearly didn't quite know what to do with me, and I wasn't very well known at that point. And the banker then rang back and said to Sarah that he would increase the offer by $1,000 or something if Joe Lycett leaves the studio.
Quite a funny response.
It was a funny response. And I was then like, oh, shit. And I was about to... And then Noel Edmonds sort of came up to me and was like, you've got to go, Joe. It's an extra $1,000. You've got to go. Like he was... And it was Mark Olver. Thank God for Mark Olver. Mark said, if Joe goes, I go. And then everyone else on the panel went, and then if Mark goes, I go. So suddenly we had this revolt against the banker.
Brilliant.
And so in the end, I think he stood down from it, and but it didn't make the edit. So
it didn't make the edit.
Didn't make the edit. Yeah. Which is wow.
How was Noel? Did you like Noel? I'd love to meet Noel.
Yeah, I'd love to meet Noel properly. I think he didn't. It all tallies with what is his name? Paul Gorton. Yeah, he doesn't really speak to anyone. He just sort of floats in. Very good at telly.
Floats out.
Floats out.
Floats in, good at telly, floats out.
Exactly it. Yeah.
But like Alan Sugar's apparently like that. We spoke to Louisa Zisman.
Oh yes.
And she said like Sugar's like that. He'll just be nowhere. Everyone mills about, and he's nowhere to be seen.
Fucking love to float in somewhere and float off.
Yeah, but I feel like if you float in, float out, you have to be good at something.
Yeah.
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 You can't float in and then flap about.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to nail what you're there to do and then float out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather not float in myself.
Are you gigging this week, Joe?
I'm doing Cardiff on Sunday. I'm a little nervous about it because of recent events, but I think it'll be fine.
Oh, what you've done? No, they love it.
I think so, yeah. I mean,
Oh, my God.
Are you gigging at the minute, Joe? Are you doing Cat's Countdown and all that?
Yeah, I've just done some of them. I'm doing stand-up again.
Great!
Yeah.
You enjoying it?
I am, actually, for the first time in like 12 years.
When are you going to do some stand-up, David?
I can't do it.
What is it about, like, because you say it's sort of, you get embarrassed by it. You think it's...
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I find it I get so embarrassed that I've chosen to go on stage.
I think you're lucky. When I speak to people about enjoying it,
I would love to be able to let go.
So when you get to the gig, are you like, oh, great, I'm about to do stand-up? Like, because I go, fuck, where's this going to fuck up?
Yeah.
Oh, you're just worried about fucking up?
Yeah. I'm sort of playing...
Yeah. What about you, Joe? You're worried about fucking up?
Big
Joel.
Joel.
It's Joel and Joe.
Yeah, let's do Joel and Joe. Joel, are you worried about fucking up?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I particularly currently because I feel like there's a lot of eyes on what
right.
we do. I feel like we're being. I feel at the minute a little bit like when I'm at a wedding. I don't like weddings. I hate them. So I find them really. They do something to me, and I get very cross at them. And I haven't fully worked out what it is. But I think it's the fact that I feel that
Same with christenings.
I don't know if I've ever been to a christening. Any sort of a funeral, probably similar as well.
Well, you get cross at a funeral.
Yeah, get cross at them.
How dare you die?
I feel like I'm being policed. I feel like at a wedding, you have to go, oh, isn't it beautiful? Oh, it's perfect, isn't it? You have to say all of this bollocks.
Yeah.
And everyone knows they're kind of going, sort of 30% chance this will stick. And you have to sort of lie. It's just everyone's lying the whole day.
Yeah.
And they're not being mummy's little liars. They're just being liars.
No, they're not.
I want to be a mummy's little liar.
I think
cozy.
I think statistically, of all the weddings I've been to, over half have ended in divorce now. Maybe I'm the common factor, but I'm a bit like...
You're getting off with one of them each time.
But there's that, you're just not... saying any of that at a wedding is seen as, sort of sacrilege. You can't even do like a little joke of like, whatever. I just feel very policed. I feel...
Yeah, it is.
There's no room for cynicism. And I feel similar at the minute. I feel like you must toe the party line. This is how you react to this sort of news, and I feel a bit conflicted by that.
It's weird because you're obviously, like, from the outside, it just looks like you've nailed it. So it's really funny. So people are just going, look, I know people aren't, there's odd bods out there, but people have just gone, that was really good, that was really funny, and moved on. But you're thinking, could there be a backlash? Could people, I don't know, be at your gig to try and ruin it or something?
Yeah. I would definitely feel more nervous about that. And I feel...
you've got to be fucking... How big are your rooms? What's Cardiff? Is it St David's Hall?
No, so I'm doing Cardiff Arena, so it's about 5,000, I think.
Fuck. Imagine someone went, right, I'm going to give Joe bloody...
What does that feel like, Joe?
I don't know. That will be the biggest gig I've done yet.
But the fact that that's even in the...
Is it sold all right as well?
So the Cardiff ones have sold all right. Basically this month I'm doing arenas. The Cardiff ones have sold all right. And then the other ones have definitely picked up since I became right wing.
So there'll be a mixed bag in the audience.
Yeah.
But genuinely though, Joe, when you think about starting off like 10 years ago, now you're playing to 5,000.
Fucking bonkers.
Are you like... Does it give you pleasure, that thought? Are you like, whatever?
Basically, how do we bring you down to
think
our
about
level?
all the new stand-ups who want to get there, and when they get there, there's nothing there. So are you does it excite you? Do you give yourself a pat on the back?
I'd say it's somewhere between the two. I feel like I think I'm quite realistic about what it will do for me. I'm aware that they're just shows and they will sort of come and go, but it's a sort of marker of like, it's a nice thing. But I'm not entirely cynical about it, and I'm just sort of, I've leveled out. I think all the therapy I've done has basically leveled me out about everything. I'm not capable of full emotions. I'm just like, it's fine, isn't it? Everything's fine.
That's good.
All right.
Never too high, never too low.
Exactly. Yeah.
Has your numbers jumped up in the last year then, or the last 2 years, like the sizes of venues for whatever reason?
When did we put this tour on sale? Yeah, in the last couple of years, that's when we put this on sale, and yeah, it's definitely been a bigger one than the last couple of years.
Because it blows my mind to sort of like go bigger than, because the Hammersmith Apollo is always sort of seen as like the way if you get there, you're sort of like, you can't really get any bigger.
Yeah.
You know, if you're selling out the Apollo, because that's like, and then you've gone, all right, I'll just go bigger than that. That seems bananas to me.
Yeah, it's bananas. Wow. And my anxiety was at its worst when this tour was being talked about, which was about 4 years ago. And what happened is I went in for the meeting about, like, they'd penciled some dates. No, it was 3 years ago, because they'd penciled the dates for 2020, and it was all going to happen just as COVID hit anyway. And I went in and they just slid this list of dates over to me. And I had like a panic attack in the room. And I said, I'm having a very physical reaction to what you've just shown me. And like, I really like went into this sort of spiral and felt very like overwhelmed by it. And so, yeah, I said no, and I cancelled it all. And actually I timed that brilliantly, because that was when like the first date was going to be like April the 2nd or something. And so it was actually I kind of preempted something, and I just knew I wouldn't have time to write a show that I'd be proud of. And I just,
that's what I was going to ask you. What's it like booking? Because I know someone who booked in something, and they had, and it was like, I'll text you both. It was basically, I put Joel in to your name. So,
have you got I've got a new number. I'm going to, I don't think I've ever had your, no, I do have your number, David, don't I?
Yeah.
Basically, that was booked in for enormous...
I think you're sending a text to an old number. I didn't get that.
Okay.
I've just WhatsApped you.
Well, I'll bleep it out.
Oh, yeah.
They booked in, like, the Newcastle... You put Claire Balding as your I really thought... my heart went into my mouth. I thought Claire Balding was definitely...
Yeah, people get confused by that. Well, I had it as Mummy for a while, and then people would say, "Oh, my mum died 5 years ago," and I thought she was texting me from the grave. So I was like, "Oh, I should."
So I changed it to Claire Balding. Sure. Okay. It's a mind fuck, man. You.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So they
I'll bleep that out.
They booked in those massive venues that they did. They didn't have a clue what they were going to do, and my head went, well, where's the joy in that? The stress of going.
No, your head went, what's the seats? What are they charging? How much are they going to make?
Well, we did that.
Yeah,
we did that, didn't we? We worked out how much they were going to make, and we did a conservative
I heard that
estimate.
episode. Actually, I did hear that episode where you're talking.
We did a conservative.
I remember thinking at some point, if I ever come on the podcast, we might end up doing the same thing.
Well, I did think about it. I'll be honest. When I was thinking about the Cardiff one, I went, "How much?"
Never as much as you think.
No, always when so and so's taken their cut, when so and so's taken their cut, the tax man's got his grip. Yeah. But yeah,
I'll be fine.
Would you?
I'll be fine at the end of all that.
I love the idea. We do this interview with you every year, and we just see your office get bigger and bigger. And bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, that having all that and not having a clue what to do. So you don't book in a tour if you haven't got a show, because I find that so weird that people go, next November I'm doing these amount of dates and I haven't written a word.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. I get about halfway, let's say.
Oh,
still, you've got a lot to do. Though.
Well, I think that it has to. By necessity, it sort of has to have a deadline for me to finish it.
Yeah.
So, but I need to know that I've got enough irons in the fire to kind of finish it. But this show is basically about a stunt that I did, and it took me 4 years to do it. And so it wasn't really on sale until I completed the stunt, really. And
is the stunt gone public, or is it a hidden
it's
stunt?
a hidden stunt.
Which you then present on the show.
I then talk about it in the show, yeah. So I did it in secret, yeah. So nobody knew I was doing anything. And it's the sort of thing that you wouldn't, it's not the sort of thing that I would do on a TV show anyway, because it's quite a personal thing. It's not like but it did involve and it ended up with headlines in newspapers in Ibiza and MPs getting a bit annoyed with me and stuff like that. So it's but they didn't know. They yeah.
Wow.
So I kind of got that. I'd finished that stunt, but I hadn't written the jokes around that stunt. I'd just done the stunt, and then started to put the sort of. And actually, it was in Aberystwyth last year. I just finished the stunt, so I could start to talk about it in previews. And yeah.
So, for example, if you then spent 4 years doing this stunt and then you couldn't get the material to work, wouldn't that be?
Yeah. I sort of had to, basically. Yeah, I had to.
Are you wondering when to put your tour in, Joe?
Yeah.
Is this what this is about?
And what sort of venues? We should work out the numbers, how much you'll make.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going no bigger than Always Be Comedy.
Oh, lovely.
I reckon you'll go 600 to 800.
Yeah, great.
I reckon you'll go that.
Yeah, I'm not going for.
We're obviously going to spend an episode when it's on sale.
Yeah, slowly chipping away of my confidence until I have to pull the bloody.
Can I ask?
No, actually, just work out ticket sales and.
Oh yeah, I might as well just tell you.
Can I ask about the maths of podcasting? Because I haven't done a podcast.
You have you. Sorry, you cut out for me there. What did you say? Sorry?
Can I ask about the maths of podcasting? Because I've not done a podcast, but I know that a lot of people are making more money out of that than anything else. Well, I heard.
Well, I heard.
I can bleep it, Joe.
Well, I heard about 3 years ago that. Oh God, I love talking about this, but not on the pod. It's my favourite thing to talk about privately. Privately.
Yeah.
Fucking, this is grotesque but lovely, isn't it? Well, the touring of pods is massive now, isn't it? Like people that I don't I sort of didn't know the pod, and then you see they've got a picture of them at the Apollo, and you're like, fucking hell. And obviously, me and David spent many an hour.
We started talking last week. Was it last week we started talking about the tipping point with our pod? When it
gets so popular that it can't become unpopular again.
But how does it work? So you do it with Acast, and they then put advertising on it, and then they pay you based on how many listens you get, essentially, or
basically, long and short of it.
Yeah, but I think if you start talking to Rob and
Ed, I don't want to know. I think it would because I think genuinely it would kill me. Like knowing theirs against ours, I think it would really damage me. Because you remember that week when you thought our listeners had gone down, and they had, and it really sent me into a fog.
But then we worked out it was a bank holiday.
Yeah, and I was pulled out of my fog. Because I'll be honest with you, I've started
the mercy of bank holidays. Terrified.
I've taken the podcast growing for granted.
Yeah.
And I know you shouldn't, but
Aren't you tempted?
What, to do a podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah,
God, you'd fly up the charts. You'd be chatting about on this a lot.
I've got an idea for one, but it's...
Have you really?
Honestly, they're quite hard. I wouldn't bother. If you did a podcast and you shot past us, we'd be going, fucking Lycett, stuck. He's sticking at 6. Fucking bollocks. He's done like 4 episodes. We've done 400.
Look at the connections he's got to get all those guests on.
But it does feel like a lot of work. I like being a guest on one, but I'd have to kind of,
I love it. I love not leaving home.
Yeah. Well, that's, and what I love about it as well is that, so the other podcast I listen to pretty regularly is the, My Therapist Ghosted Me with John McNally and Vogue Williams. And I think John McNally is so funny and such a good stand-up, like really accomplished, brilliant gag writer, and was sort of getting a bit ignored by the industry, really. And she's just leapfrogged loads of it because of...
Yeah.
Because she's touring now off the back of the pod, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, she's doing something like 60 nights at Vicar Street in Dublin.
What?
60.
No, 60.
60, yeah. Yeah.
But I supported David Doherty at Vicar Street, and he sold it to me as, would you mind doing a little support for me at this gig?
Yeah.
I didn't give it any thought. It's massive.
Joanne McNally, 60 dates, 60 nights at Vicar Street.
It's a big old room.
It's a big room. I think it's a 1,000-seater. About that?
Is this off the back of the pod?
Off the back of a podcast. It's 1,050. So she's selling 60,000 tickets in Dublin alone. And she's also doing the Palladium. She did 2 nights at the London Palladium. She's doing Dubai. She's sold out 3 shows in Dubai. It's like...
What? That's amazing to leapfrog the old ways.
Exactly.
Though, isn't it?
I think it's really... I love the...
I do.
I love that it sort of levels it. The gate gets rid of the gatekeepers. Exactly that.
Yeah, it's all about getting rid of gatekeepers.
Because I've sort of found with this show that I felt a bit sort of frustrated. My stand-up show about the gatekeeperiness of it, like how.
Why do you mean? Why is there a gatekeeper with your stand-up?
Well, the reviewers are all generally straight white men, and the show is sort of not written for, no offense to straight white men, but it's not written entirely with them in mind.
It's hurtful.
So
You're cool with us, aren't you?
I'm annoyed about you guys.
Yeah,
I don't really like it. Yeah, I don't sort of bang the drum about it loads, but I'd not really experienced that before. I was like, oh, this show's sort of getting attacked quite a lot, and I'm really proud of it, and it's getting attacked by the same sort of person, I suppose.
Well, but what influence have they got now?
Well,
when you've got a big
I know. I should just get over it.
Yeah, because you've got a following that don't give a shit about those.
I know,
pricks.
exactly. So I shouldn't care, but I do. I do.
You've got all the. It's interesting. You've got all the power.
Yeah, but I don't feel like it. I don't think I've got all the power. I've got some power.
Well, in your show, you do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Mummy's got power.
Mummy.
Mummy's got power.
Mummy, why are you sad, Mummy?
Liars have got all the power.
But you have that. You got a big you got a huge following. It's like I can't see how they would have any.
I know. It just and it didn't really and doesn't generally bother me. But I just became aware of it over a period of this summer where I was like, oh, like this show is not really for. Well, it is for everyone. I've written it for, it's a stand-up show that I want everyone to enjoy. But I notice if it's a very straight audience, because I ask who's straight and who's not at the start of the show, it's a harder sell, the kind of the story, because it's a very kind of gay story to a straighter audience, I think. It's just, But that's fine, so what?
Yeah. How many tickets do you think Chatterbox would sell on tour?
I think you'd sell fucking tons.
What about if we said in the bump that it would not be any good?
Great, I think it'd sell more.
Honestly, because we were talking about we were going for 100-seaters.
I don't know what your numbers are comparative to. I just have a feeling that it would do better.
I'd be gutted if they didn't.
We'll start with 100-seaters, see how quickly they sell, and then.
What on earth would we?
What on earth do you do anyway? You don't go into it.
Well, would you come on all of the shows? Would you come on all of our live shows? Our surprise guest again is Joe Lycett.
Yeah,
but just zoom in from wherever you are, and then we'll just turn and look at you.
Yeah.
And go, look, it's Joe Lycett.
That's amazing that she's selling 60 nights.
Yeah.
So was she just on the circuit?
She was starting to break through a little bit, I think.
She was like one of the hot new acts a few years ago.
But she wasn't. I don't think she'd done any real panel shows. I don't think
she's done live at the Apollo. I think
she's done live at the Apollo. But yeah, she still's not getting. She's not a household name.
She doesn't do. She's not like kind of a go-to for shows, is she? Like,
yeah, they're not. Yeah, she's not like a regular booking on Channel 4 stuff or whatever. Yeah, but she did do Big Fat Quiz this year and stuff. So she's done.
And do you think that's off the back of them going, fucking hell, she sold all these dates?
Well, she's certainly doing well off the back of this episode.
And if you're listening, would it be nice if you chatted about us in a positive way? Because we've only been positive.
Yeah.
Please, if we could just up those numbers a little bit more, we'd hit that tipping point.
But so I'm curious about the way it works. But yeah.
Well, I see it as a good. I mean, how old are you, Joe?
34.
Oh, fuck me.
You young buck.
But I see it as a good thing to grow old into.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're obsessed with.
But you're 34, it's depressing talking about all that shit.
Yeah, but we were talking about this when we started writing. We were talking. That was 10 years ago. So what were we? 37 then. We were all about getting
we wanted
old.
to get off the circuit and just write.
Yeah.
In that thing where we didn't want to be like 55 doing stuff that 30-year-olds do.
Yeah.
We were all about like easing into our age and not embarrassing ourselves.
Yes. Yeah.
He says as he starts stand up again.
I'm definitely got sort of similar feelings about like getting out of what I'm in, but I get bored of stuff quite quickly. So I don't get bored of Chatterbix, weirdly, but I get I've got this annoying thing with Spotify where it's sort of if I stop an episode halfway through, then it will like click into that, and then it will go back to the start, and it just for some reason going. I don't know quite how I'm doing it, and I also alternate. I'll do a Gossip Mongers, and then I'll go back to Chatterbix, and
oh bloody hell!
I don't think you should use anyone else's podcasts. That's the only thing I'm thinking.
Well, I'm just looking at my. It says your shows, and it's got Gossip Mongers first, then Chatterbix.
Wow.
Then Full Disclosure with James O'Brien.
Yes.
And the rest is politics.
Ooh.
Then I started listening to the News Agents, the Emily Maitlis one. Rahulastapa.
Yes.
I do enjoy that, the one with Richard Herring.
I do enjoy Rahulastapa.
Political Party with Matt Ford. I love that one.
Yeah, that's nice.
My Therapist Ghosted Me, and that's it.
Lovely. I feel lovely. I wasn't expecting this, Joe. I feel
a lot of straight white men.
Yeah.
God, you have a type, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I hope you sell some tickets off the back of this.
Yeah, I fucking hope so as well.
Yeah, we've definitely got a bloody following, mate. Don't worry about that.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to book 2 tickets for your show now. On the pod.
Yeah, are you down Southwest way? That's a yes.
2 tickets. Where should I sit? Where do you want me to sit?
Which show are you coming to?
Brighton. I think it's the Dome.
Yeah.
Where would you want me? Centre stalls. Oh God, there's only not that much to you can. Oh, there's none left there. God, you've really sold out.
That might have sold out.
Oh, you're not coming anywhere near me.
But I could probably comp you because I don't think I put anyone down for the comps yet.
Wow, you're not coming anywhere near me.
Where are you? Where do you live, David?
I'm in Devon.
Oh yeah, we went down that way at the start of the tour.
Not like it?
Thought it was a shit arsehole.
Fair dues.
God, you sold. How many are you doing?
I'm doing 2 nights at the Brighton Dome. I don't think the second one's on sale yet. Though. If you want I'll just put you down on the comp list because I haven't. What night do you want to come? Hang on, I'll have a look.
God, Birmingham's going to be a nice couple of dates, isn't it? Hometown.
Oh, yeah. home by 10:30.
Lovely.
Yeah.
The 14th of October, it says here, you're on.
Yes.
The second one's not on it.
No, actually, it's not on my list here either. So maybe it's not. Maybe they're not doing it. I don't know. Guest list. Brighton Dome. 2.
Yes, please.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
there we go. You're in.
Oh, how lovely.
Can I get anything out of this pod?
If you want to come, I mean, I could send you some art or.
Send me some what?
Art.
Oh, art?
You want some art?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'll send you some art.
Oh, mate, I'd love a bit of your art.
Can send.
No, I feel terrible now. Do you want anything in my desk?
I'd like to see your art.
No.
Yes,
No.
yes. Art for art. Art for art. Come on, David.
Fucking hell, I couldn't. It's so uninspirational. It's horrible.
What do you want to get out of it, though? That's the thing. Do you want to be Picasso, or what's your plan?
What I loved about it was the meditational aspect. I loved that.
Yeah.
And the relaxation. But then I found, my colours aren't matching, and I've got the old colour wheel. I'm not sure I'm good with colours.
You're overthinking it, aren't you?
Yeah, you got in your head.
Yeah, but I look at Joe's and the colours just pop.
But I've got a lot of shit. I don't like the stuff that kind of isn't on the wall.
Give him some of that.
You know, like that I don't like. Doesn't.
Well, I would.
That's Ant and Dec. That's Ant and Dec, isn't
I'll
it?
take that all day long.
That's a gay couple that are in the front row of a show, and I took a photo.
That's not Ant and Dec.
No, it's not Ant and Dec. Actually, this one I do quite like. This one. This one's Vladimir Putin fishing.
See your ideas, but I love your style. Oh, bloody hell. Yeah. You've got an eye. See, you having a go at our Brian and Charles, you've got an eye. I haven't got an eye.
No, I think you're... So lots of people say this to me about like, oh, I'd love to do art, but I'm just no good at it. I'm not artistic. I'm not creative. And I always think, well, if you're aiming for like photorealism or anything like that, then you're onto nothing. Grayson Perry said this to me when I did his art club thing years ago in lockdown. He said, if we're all painting like exact replicas of what we're seeing, then we'd essentially just be doing photographs, and your mistakes are your style. And I thought that was really reassuring. Like the thing where you go wrong is the thing to celebrate, really. And
I mean, I don't want to. I just want to
happy accidents.
Happy accidents, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm really enjoying at the minute is 3D. I bought a 3D printer. I've been making little sculptures. You make sculptures on the iPad, and then you sort of print them in little 3D plastic thing.
Oh, wow.
This is today's print. Bit of fun.
Knob and balls.
Tried to do a sculpture of my friend's head, but it went a bit weird and like split off. And
what's it made of?
It's sort of plastic, basically. And it just does thin layers.
So
have I got any of the other ones? But what I've sort of kind of blown my mind about with it, you can just print a whistle. Not mad.
You can
printed a whistle.
That's blown my mind.
Yeah, it's really. I can't really show it to you because I can't. But I think.
I mean, I'd pay for one of yours, Joe.
What, one of your whistles?
One of the little paintings.
You want a little painting? Okay, I'll do a little painting.
Oh no, I'll pay. Yeah.
I've never sold one. I've only sold prints. So you can't buy one, actually, but I'll just send you one. I've given loads away, but I just feel weird about selling the originals. I don't know why.
No, of course.
But what I was going to say is try something that can't possibly be what you what do you think of it in your head? So if you think in your head, oh, I want to make a painting of Alan Sugar looking through a skylight, it'll either look like Alan Sugar or it won't, and the skylight the perspective will be all wrong and what like that. Sort of forget that and try something like putting inks on do some abstract stuff essentially. So
stuff. Right, I did that. I got a huge canvas for like 100 quid.
Yeah.
And I just went, fuck it, let's just do stuff.
Yeah.
And after an hour or two, I was like, this is awful.
Yeah.
And that was the last straw for me. I was like, pathetic.
Yeah.
And it's, all the colours look shit.
There's a painting I bought from a brilliant artist, Tom. He's Tom Leving, and I bought this painting off him because the name of it made me laugh. It's called Bastard, because it's loads of bits of acrylic, like really thick acrylic, and he just couldn't get it right. It just didn't look good. He just kept putting more and more on, and to the point where the frame of the painting started to collapse, and he had to get it reframed because the wood holds the weight of the paint. And in the end, it looks really cool and it's really textured. But he called it Bastard because it was one of the hardest things he's ever had to make. He hated it.
So he turned a cock up into a...
Yeah.
Oh, that's clever.
But I really don't think... I think you are overthinking it. It surprises me because you've got such a kind of throw it out there and see what happens attitude about lots of things. But less...
What does that mean?
You don't focus.
Putting a podcast out every day is why not try a painting every day?
Yeah.
Or just one a week.
Yeah. Okay.
And you enjoy it, like the just doing it anyway.
I love all the bits and pieces.
I'm not an art teacher. I don't know shit at all, but
I love the little white dungarees I bought. I love all that.
Yeah.
Love all the cloths.
You like the
and the
idea
rags.
of being a painter?
Yeah, lovely.
Do you like the idea of going to the supermarket with paint on your dungarees?
Yeah.
That kind of
I want my trainers as well.
Yeah.
And the trainers are split.
I had a chat with a guy outside the co-op yesterday, and he was a painter decorator all over him, and I just thought it was fantastic.
Mike, my painting mate went to St Martin's. He's got such a fantastic eye, and his trainers were just sellotaped onto his feet.
Great.
And I thought, even that looks good.
Yeah.
I want that.
I think it's that.
I imagine you sellotaping your shoe and then getting cross. That doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It's that sort of feeling of like, oh, I'm busy, isn't it? Like, oh, I've got,
Yeah.
I'm working on something.
Yeah, I've just got to pop the shots, but I'm ever so busy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I always see people like when they're painters and stuff. There's a couple of painters. Of course, there's a couple of painters on my road. I live in Brighton, and I just think I just look at them and go, "You make a living from painting. That's incredible."
Yeah.
So my friend, do you know the painter Anthony McAuliffe?
I don't.
So my friend Mike,
name Anthony
McAuliffe, MICALEFF. So my friend Mike had this studio, and they shared this Brighton studio.
Oh wow!
And Anthony, I don't know him, but he suddenly exploded whilst Mike, in the same time that Mike was sharing the studio with him, and he sold he sold something for 150 grand, and he just went, whew, and now he's, I think Michael Stipe bought her.
Yeah.
Doesn't he do, like you said,
really
he does
cool,
really
though,
thick?
It's good, isn't it?
How do you spell McAuliffe?
MICALLEF.
Yeah, they're really cool.
It's that like thick use of paint. British GQ. Anthony McAuliffe is the artist spearheading the return to in-person exhibitions. Wow. Okay, GQ.
I don't understand any of that.
Yeah. But watching an artist like going from a little studio in Brighton to just suddenly blow up.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, his stuff's amazing.
He's like the Joanne McNally of the art world.
Yes.
Wow. Fuck, that's cool. And look at him. I've got a picture of him sat in his studio, absolutely covered in paint.
Yeah. And there's a sort of, what's he like? He's got like a kind of melancholy. He's not smiling in any of his pictures.
No, I think he's a lovely man. Apparently, a lovely man.
So he's not a friend of yours?
No, he's a friend of my mates,
right?
Or was?
Did you say his paintings take like a year to dry or something?
Yeah, well, you'd think so. I mean, if they're
oils,
they will. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only use acrylic because I find oil a bit scary.
So I've been using oils. And that was I think that was my problem. I was getting all sticky and...
Get acrylic, dries.
Have you seen Dali, the AI artist?
No.
Right. This will blow your mind. So there's an AI now that understands...
Oh.
And you can put briefs in and it will produce images. And I signed up to the beta, so I've got access to it. I'll show you, for example... I asked it to do an oil painting of Catherine Ryan drinking champagne, and it came up with that.
What?
And it also did that one as well. It does 4. I mean, the other ones are like they're all amazing, but I thought that one was incredible.
So, sorry, how do you get there? How do you?
So
it just makes a painting for you.
It just makes 4 paintings for you based on what you put in. So if it's what's the website? Labs. It's openai.com, but you have to sign up to the beta, which I'm in. But it's unlocked. Hang on. I think it will let me log.
Oh yeah, shit.
How'd you get in? I don't.
So give me a. It's like a style of painting, and then also, I appreciate this is great for podcast listeners.
No, that's exactly what.
Yeah.
I'll put a bit of music.
Well, they can stop listening.
Or stop listening. Yeah. So, Jimmy Carr riding a motorcycle in the style of
Pointillism.
What?
Pointillism.
I don't even know how to spell that.
Dots. Pointillism. All right. Renaissance.
Renaissance. In the Renaissance style.
This is mind blowing.
So it's generating.
Yeah, I'm all over this.
It's sort of scary to me. Because,
Well, it just did a grapefruit.
no, that's it loading.
That's the holding page, David. That's way off.
That's a grapefruit. So Jimmy Carr riding a motorcycle in the Renaissance style. Let's come up with that.
Fucking hell. That's not. That one looks like him.
That one's less like him. But that second one is pretty good, I'd say.
Can you?
Yeah.
Wow. Can you now download these and?
Yeah.
Fucking hellfire.
Yeah. It's sort of scary. I got it to do. I was with the comedian Bethany Black, and we were playing with it, and she suggested Shrek, an oil painting of Shrek at the Nuremberg trials, and it nailed it. I'm trying to find it. It really made me laugh. It's perfect. It's really beautiful.
That's pretty. If you painted that, I'd go. That was amazing.
Yeah. And it did it in
Your imagination is incredible. And you go, no, it's not.
But it's just its understanding of I got it to do a capybara in a colourful hat made of blocks.
Shit.
Just so good.
That's scary.
It's scary. What next?
Well, I've been watching Capture on BBC, and that's all about, where they, what do you call it? That thing on YouTube where people it looks like Tom Cruise is talking to someone, and it's actually artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And you just can't tell. Yeah. You can tell slightly because of the mannerisms of the person doing it, but the face.
There's that film called Her, which is about that, isn't it? He kind of
the film.
Yeah, the film.
Yeah.
Just really.
I was on Instagram, Joe, and I left.
Why?
And this is because.
Oh, can't we say? Can we?
No, I'd say anything, but someone left a comment on one of my posts. It was a bit weird. I couldn't understand what he meant, and I went to his Instagram, and his bio was banned from YouTube banned from da-da-da, I wonder why. And so I went to his YouTube. And his latest video
It's quite open-minded.
Crackers people like that out there, aren't there? Like that's the sort of scary thing about social media. You realise that there's a lot of people who are really like. But then there are times when, so often when I'm being like sarcastic or whatever, because before I did it on Laura Koonsberg's show, I was always tweeting like Boris saying how great I thought he was, and I was doing a lot of like flirting with him as if I was his like sort of little bitch boy essentially. And people would tweet me saying, like, it's disgusting you're supporting him. They wouldn't see the irony in it. But I know that there are certain, like, I sort of give people the benefit of the doubt because I know there are certain things, like, I've got friends of mine who've got things like autism or whatever, who they just can't read sarcasm. It's not like there's not even any malice to it or stupidity, really. It's just like a condition where they just can't do it. They can't read that in. So I sort of try and give them the benefit of the doubt. But actually, probably a lot of the time, it's just people being thick as shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Went full circle.
I did, yeah. There's somebody running, and they seem actually quite sort of benevolent, but there's someone running an account for my cat on Instagram. But what they did is they followed everyone that I follow. So everyone now thinks that it's me running the account. And people say, oh, I love your cat account, Joe. And they just use images from that I put up. And I now just don't post pictures of my cat because I'm annoyed that it's got content.
Yeah.
But it will do, like, people will say, oh, I was chatting to you online. And I'm like, were you? And then I find out that they were chatting to the Winston account. And it's...
Well, I've got someone doing a TikTok account of me, and it's got something like 270,000.
Oh, really?
followers. Yeah, and I have no idea I don't really give a shit, but I also don't want them to suddenly.
How would you feel if it was me? I suddenly went, it's me.
I'd probably go, what is wrong with you?
Well, I just thought, I don't know, I like your clips.
Do you? You've never really? Do you?
Yeah.
I think I'd go, do you?
Yeah, I do.
I like your clips.
I like your clips, and I thought it'd be nice to put them all in one place. Oh, well, cheers. All right, see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
David's done a count of all my clips.
Is it clips like of you on cats and things like that? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's like it's Joe Wilkinson official.
Yeah.
That's what they've called it, which it's not official.
I think TikTok are quite good at pulling stuff down.
No, they're not, because I put my niece.
Oh, they've tried
To.
Yeah.
Pitcher's niece tried to.
They keep pulling stuff that I do down. They're on top of my videos, so yeah. Are you going to do any more TV episodes of MASH?
No, I'm 47.
Oh, I love that. I love 2 episodes of MASH.
Oh, well, thank you, but I feel like it's a young person's game, the old sketch. I feel like a Wally doing stand-up, so definitely not putting a hat on.
I was talking to Naomi about gigging it. I cannot imagine going out as Brian again. Fuck me.
But I was like that after lockdown because I hadn't gigged for so long, and I actually sort of I sort of searched videos of myself online to sort of remind myself of my shtick. I'd have forgotten who I was like on stage because I live on my own, so I sort of didn't speak to people that much, and it was just sort of became quite insular, really. And and it was amazing how quickly it did come back the minute I went back.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. It just sort of, it's riding a bike kind of vibe, isn't it? You just go,
Can I one thing about stand-up? Like, if you gig like very sporadically, like I'm doing, like, do you when you do loads, do you go? Can you feel yourself being better? Like, if you're doing lots in a row, do you go, Oh, I'm definitely better because I've never done loads in a row.
Well, it's less than loads in a row. It's just like being regular with it, I suppose. So I had a heckler a couple of nights ago, and I hadn't had a heckler on this whole tour. Like, I've had people kind of get involved in a nice way, but it was a kind of malevolent heckler who was chatting for ages, and then I sort of called him out, and he stood up and said he was going to take me outside and fight me, and he was like,
"I can say fuck you."
Fuck me outside.
I take it as a plant then.
And he was going to take me outside and just sort of gently suck the tip of my cock.
Gently? No, not interested.
A bit of ball work.
What was he? So he bought tickets to your show?
Don't know.
And got angry.
And I dealt with it like I used to do at clubs, and it was kind of fun. And I hadn't had to do that for years. I haven't done it for years, deal with a heckler like that. And I was like, it was really reassuring that instinct is still there. I know roughly how to handle something like that. I know how to.
God, I don't think I ever knew how to.
But it's not the way I approach it is probably not the way people think of taking on hecklers, where you go like humiliate them or whatever. I'm always a sort of kill them with kindness sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that works best, doesn't it? Yeah.
Got nowhere to go then.
Exactly. They can't, if they're going like, I'll fucking kill you, go, oh, hello, lovely. Sort of just they haven't got anything. It sort of doesn't work. So and it's funny. Have someone be really aggressive, and then the person they're being aggressive to be really kind and gentle back to them. I mean, I did say I'd fuck him up, but I said it in such a lovely way. But
yeah.
So I think it will come back to you very quickly. Why come back when the podcast is making you £350,000 an hour?
It's a week. It's 350,000 a week. There's a huge. I think some of it's to do with like having like the gatekeeper thing. Some stuff happens where you sort of wait around for stuff, and then it doesn't happen or it gets cancelled. Like TV shows and stuff, and it's like, oh, so boring. And then I just thought, oh, you can just do. There is a way of doing stuff where no one can stop you unless they don't buy tickets or whatever. Yeah. So I thought I'll do that. Yeah. And I thought, oh, I actually quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to carry on, but I'm not thinking much past that, because people like, when you get on, I don't know. No, I might just go, oh no, gone off it now.
I've definitely got an urge to go back to just doing some little clubs and 20-minute sets. That was sort of the peak of like my excitement and happiness with my career, was when I was doing the first year or so doing paid 20s and thinking, oh shit, I'm making money from stand-up.
Yeah,
because you're in a group, aren't you? There's a gang. Exactly. Every night there's a gang on your own. You're like, especially, I guess your support acts, I don't know who that, but they go, don't they? For like the time, I should imagine. Which is fair enough. They're not going to wait an hour and a half after. No. So you're like, oh, night.
Yeah.
That's what Paul Tonkinson said, didn't he? When you all start off together and then you all get good enough to headline around the country, you never see one another again.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I started doing, which Sarah Millican sort of taught me to do, which is just get out. So like I do finish the show and just get straight in the car and go. I'm not hanging around. So I often try and get home. So I'm normally in my own bed, and yeah. I'm just such an old woman. I love just like having a lie down.
Same.
Oh, so do I.
Same. Old women love lying down.
We've found.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need more. Yeah. We need more of that demographic. We found out due to our stats.
Oh, really? You need older women.
So if you know any older women, David, Joel.
Well, I think I've picked up a few through the sewing bee. So I'm hopefully just my appearance on this will bring some women.
Well, just promote the shit out of Chatterbix on everything you do.
Yeah, fine. Happy to do that.
That's cool. Yeah, just
should we really send Joe a Chatterbix t-shirt?
Yeah, would you like a Chatterbix
I would
t-shirt?
love a Chatterbix t-shirt.
Okay, would you like Chatterbix or Chatterbiscuit?
I'm a fan, so I want to be a Chatterbiscuit.
Yeah.
So you'll get a Chatterbiscuit.
Oh, that's lovely.
I will. There's a little Cheddar Biscuit T-shirt coming your way.
Beautiful.
Let's put it that way.
Great. I'm well up for that. Well up for that.
Brilliant. Well, look,
Thank
this
you,
has
mate.
been amazing. So much fun.
Well, it's been, as I say, it's been a great honour for me.
I love that you listen to this.
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I've been watching you from afar. Not afar, but you know what I mean. And a close. Loving what you do.
And I think now we know this, I'm probably going to talk about you a lot more because I want that interaction with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to say things hoping you text me about it.
Great.
And you'll say things like, heard you on the pod this morning, mate. How are you? And I'll go, yeah, good. And pretend I'm casual about it. But I go, fucking hell.
I can't wait.
So keep your ear out.
Yeah.
Keep your ear out.
I still
for
get that
and-
when I listen to Greg James's radio program because he's a friend of mine, and I'll occasionally text him with something related to the show, and occasionally he'll read it out, and I lose my mind. Fuck! It was read out on the rate. Like I really can't.
I know. I phoned Petra once because they did some filming outside our flat for a HSBC advert, and I phoned her and I said, the fucking flat's on an HSBC advert. And she went, you're on the telly sometimes. I was like, oh yeah. But our flat's on an HSBC advert.
Yeah.
Get your head round that.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
It was.
Fair play.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you for having me on.
Lovely chatting.
And good luck in car and the rest of the tour.
Say some stuff to advertise it.
Please come to my tour. It's a love letter to Chatterbix
And the Chatter
and the
Biscuits.
Chatterbiscuits.
Cool, imagine.
And I'll be wearing my Chatterbiscuit t-shirt at every date.
God, imagine that, you working on that for 2 years, that show.
This is actually the finale. Is all I was working.
Oh my God, we're
Getting on Chatterbix.
right. We should let you get on with your
Thank
life.
you, Joe.
Thanks,
Pleasure.
Joe.
Very
It's
nice to
amazing.
see you both.
Yeah,
And you. Thanks a million, mate.
Bye.
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 Chatter lads.
Mummy's little liar.